YouTube? This is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 6 waiver wire video to help you guys out with your fantasy football season. Week 5 is just about over. When this video drops, we still have the Monday night game between the Packers and Raiders, so there may be some players out of that game you may need to add, but these are going to be based off of what happened this Sunday, whether it be stars that are starting to shine, or, of course, injuries that do occur and you need to replace them. Now, there are two teams on a bye week. This is Packers and Steelers bye week. So, again, only two teams, which isn't bad. Look forward to Week 7, which is a lot of teams on a bye week. So that is something to worry about. And these waiver wire videos are going to help you. Hopefully, you guys had a successful Week 5. Hopefully, you guys are in the victory lane. And we're going to talk about some players here. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is Sam Howell at the quarterback position. He's going against the Falcons this week. He's available in 66% of most leagues. Commanders didn't get the win, but Howell ended up with a great fantasy week, finishing with 23 points and over 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, which obviously hindered his performance, but still he put up 23 points. Howell is so far averaging 13 points a game, and that was really due to a really bad game in Week 3 where he threw 4 interceptions. The next 3 games for Howell is Atlanta, Giants, and Eagles. So he's got some really favorable matchups, especially if you're trying to fill in those bye week quarterbacks, or maybe you're in a 2 QB league or something like that. Sam Howell is definitely somebody you should be considering grabbing. Another quarterback I like this week as far as a grab is Russell Wilson versus the Chiefs. They play Thursday night. He's available in 44% of most leagues. I'm going to continue to talk about Russell Wilson until his roster percentage is almost 100% rostered. I don't understand. He's averaging over 20 points a game, 2 touchdowns a game. Wilson is currently QB9 for the season before Week 5, yet he's still on most waivers. He's a smart fantasy players are going to grab him, stash him, whatever it may be, just to prevent other owners to grab him. I don't care if you don't ever play him, but why are you not? There's other quarterbacks that are, I get, you probably drafted or really think highly of, who just not getting it done. He's QB9. At this point, he should be rostered. 44% available is just please get him on your team, okay? Another quarterback, I'm sorry, I have to. Another quarterback is Baker Mayfield versus the Lions. He's available in 81% of most leagues. Mayfield's coming back from a bye week, and most people are going to forget about him. I get it. He didn't play last weekend, so he's not something that's fresh in your mind. He's currently QB 13 before Week 5 and plays a Lions team that will force the Bucs to really play catch-up. The Lions offense has been phenomenal. Mayfield is currently averaging 17.87 points a game and just under 2 touchdowns in the air. So again, another quarterback that's performing really well, especially over other quarterbacks you probably drafted pretty high. Forget about the name. Get Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson on your roster, especially if you're needing some points. They've got some pretty good matchups that are going to help them out. Now, running back, I've got Diont Foreman versus the Vikings. He's available in 93% of most leagues. Khalil Herbert will miss some time due to his leg injury after trying to catch that low ball from Fields. We don't know the exact extent of how far he's going to be out, but at least a few weeks is what they say. Now, Roschon Johnson would have been next in line, and there's still a good chance he is going to play. He's got 9 days to clear the concussion protocol. If he does miss, Diont Foreman is going to be the RB1 for the Bears. So realistically, Roschon Johnson is probably your biggest waiver wire when it comes to filling in for Khalil Herbert, but there's a chance that he does miss because of the concussion. So Foreman is another good back to grab. I don't know what to expect out of him because he's been healthy scratch so far. I'm not really sure because the Bears went after him and wanted him on the team, and then they drafted Roschon. So it's kind of a really uncertainty there. But Foreman did well when he filled in for the Panthers last year with CMC being traded away. He might have a game or two that he actually ends up performing really good fantasy stats for you. Now, another running back you may want to consider is Tyjae Spears versus the Ravens. He's available in 74% of most leagues. Spears had his best fantasy day so far into his rookie year. He had 34 yards on the ground, 35 yards in the air with a rushing touchdown. Spears has seen plenty of snaps, but not a super large amount of important chances and opportunities to do something with it. I think that obviously with Derrick Henry still being there and really being the bell cow, Spears isn't taking that over. But if you watched any of the Titans games, Spears has been in a lot. So he's got chances where maybe he gets a play here or there or gets a touchdown like he did this past weekend. Realistically, I bring up Tyjae Spears because he's definitely somebody that you should have as a handcuff to Derrick Henry, or maybe stashing him if you're in a very deep league because there's opportunities for him. And I think there's still a chance that, who knows, if something does happen, Spears looks really explosive, especially compared to Henry. He's definitely somebody you may want to consider. Now, another running back based off of injury is Emari Demarcado versus the Rams. He's available in 99% of most leagues, which makes sense. Amari filled in nicely after James Conner went down with the injury. We don't know the extent of the injury right now at the time I record this video with James Conner, but if Conner is expected to miss some time, Amari is a great option to fill in and handcuff. There's also Keontae Ingram, but he's been out as well. So Amari becomes kind of the RB1 for the Cardinals. Now, I'm not expecting much out of this, but he did put up 12 points with 45 yards on the ground and a touchdown. So that obviously helped kind of probably get a lot of people enticing, grabbing him. I'm sure he's probably getting on the waiver wire. I would not spend a lot of fab on him because I'm not expecting a lot out of him. But realistically, he is going to be a potential RB1 for a team that, they're going to use him. I mean, not a super large amount, but he is going to be used. Now, wide receiver, I've got Curtis Samuel as a nice little grab. He's going against the Falcons, available in 83% of most leagues. Samuel has been on a nice little streak the last couple of games, putting up over 18 points in each of the last 2 games, having success with a touchdown in the air and on the ground. He also has seen an average of 7 targets his way the last couple of games. I don't know if that's going to change because you still have Dotson, McLaurin, but Sam Howell seems to like him. He's been one of those little gadget players. He goes in the slot, he goes in the backfield, he goes in the outside. So Samuel definitely is somebody that might be somebody you grab, especially in a deep league, or maybe you just need to put a flex play in there, and he might get you those 18 points or so. So I like Samuel's a nice little grab. Another receiver, Rashee Rice versus the Broncos, available in 61% of most leagues. Rice has slowly become a nice option in the air for Mahomes. He isn't seeing a super large amount of targets. He's getting about 5 targets a game. Again, that's about it. Mahomes obviously still favors Travis Kelce, which is completely understandable. Reason I have him really on this list is because the stretch of games he has in the next 4 games, he's going against bottom 10 pass defenses. So there's a lot of opportunity for Rashee Rice to have some success. And then, again, the Travis Kelce injury. We don't know the extent of it. I'm assuming he's going to play, but they play Thursday night. Who knows what they're going to end up doing with him. He did come back in the game to tough it out and ended up doing pretty well. So do I think Kelce's out? No. But is there a chance? Yes. Because of the short week for the Chiefs, they may want to rest him this week just to make sure. Because, again, they're going against the Broncos. Nothing against the Broncos, but we all know they're not a great team at all. So this is a team that I think if they were to say, hey, you know what, Kelce, sit it out this one. We've got you. We can handle the win and then come back healthy. I could see that. And Rashee Rice, I think, is going to be the one that is going to get the benefit of that. Now, KJ Osborn is another receiver you may want to consider. He's going against the Bears. He's available in 91% of most leagues. The reason I have KJ Osborn here is really because of the hamstring issue with Justin Jefferson. Jay Jetta, unfortunately, left the game the last, I would say, 3 to 4 minutes of that Vikings game. And realistically, I think possibly because of the amount of points they were down. I mean, they could have possibly came back. There's obviously that whole situation. We're not going to talk about it in here, but he didn't play. And that's huge because they were trying to make a comeback, and we don't know the extent of the hamstring injury. If it is a severe hamstring injury, that usually takes 3 to 4 weeks, possibly. Look at Cooper Kupp, where he doesn't play. That's a huge, huge hit for most fantasy owners, especially if you have Jay Jetta. Now, KJ Osborn is a nice little grab here. I would mention Jordan Addison, but realistically, Jordan Addison's pretty much off of everybody's waivers, so I'm not going to make a big thing about it. But as far as a wide receiver 2 option for this Vikings team, KJ Osborn's a great one to grab. He's shown he's had success in the past. He's got a great connection with Kirk Cousins, so he's a nice little one. Now, as far as tight ends, I've got 2 here. Logan Thomas versus the Falcons. He's available in 85% of most leagues. Logan has just had a spectacular game with 21 points. He had 9 receptions on 11 targets, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Now, I don't expect Logan to be a stud every single week or this whole season, but matchup's pretty favorable. Falcons defense has looked pretty good, but I do like this option for Logan Thomas. And again, as far as tight ends go, all you're expecting is 10 to 12 points, and that's a good week for your tight end. If the upside is a possible 21-point game like he did this past week, yeah, put him in there. He's a great streaming option. So I'm looking to grab Logan Thomas. Another tight end is Cole Kmet versus the Vikings. He's available in 31% of most leagues. He's not an option that many probably have, but if he is there, Kmet is most likely gone, but grab him. He's been on fire the last 2 weeks, averaging 21.4 points and 3 touchdowns. Now, of course, that isn't sustainable, but he is a big target. He's a big red zone threat. He's a security blanket for Justin Fields. They've got a great connection, even into the last year. He should see a decent amount of targets his way, 5 to 7 usually. So again, as far as tight ends go, he usually creeps up into the top 10 just because of his touchdown ability. And he's, again, a big tight end and great option. So if you can, grab him. He's only 31% available, but if he's out there, grab him on your team. So those are my week 6 waivers for you guys. If you guys have questions of who to pick up and maybe trade talks, right? We're going to start talking some players you may want to consider, selling or buying. Hit us up in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and the notification bell is on. We'll be doing content just like this all season long to help you guys out with your fantasy teams. If you guys have any other questions, again, hit us up in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, like, and I'll check you guys out next time.